As soon as I stepped outside, I felt this fear. I could feel it shaking. Something very powerful demon was there. At times over at the house, I would see these things. So it wasn't like I was crazy or experiencing it by myself. Everything I've been searching for my whole life, I'm seeing it right now. I was so scared I couldn't move. Somewhere down the line, Satan had entered in, create this protection and this development that I would use these demons without even knowing. I was coming up this last week and of being in this house or having a spiritual encounter, and I wasn't doing drugs at this time. It's apparent time because I was trying to quit. I was really struggling, and I was just at the lowest of the lowest in my life. Like I just was at the point where I didn't care if I died. I just didn't care if I died. I had suicidal thoughts. I just felt like dying and just no one would miss me, and I didn't care about my life, and I just felt like the biggest screw up in my life. And I had an encounter one night. The whole house cracked from one side to the other, and I could feel it shaking, and it was so scary. And I felt this fear that I became to know quite often that fear was very demonic. Meaning like something very powerful demon was there. And I remember being in the living room and all the blinds were shut, and I heard something walking on the roof. And it didn't sound. We had raccoons, and I know what it sounded like. We had raccoons or squirrels up on the roof because there was trees. Dude, I know what it also sounds like when somebody's walking on the roof. So I'm like, who the heck is walking on my roof at night? I walk outside. There's a little porch cover thing, and I walk past the porch cover thing, and I look up and I don't see anything. I'm like, that's so weird. So I didn't even know somebody was walking up there, and I didn't see nothing. It was dark anyways. We lived on an acre of land.
And this was before or after the house cracked?
This was after.
Okay.
This was after. But
like fairly immediately, or?
No, I this is what I'm having a hard time remembering. I think this is all within 1 week period of time. Like this.
So different night even.
Yeah, lights were flickering on and off, and the radio would come on and off, and like it got to the point where I couldn't control it. Okay. And I had people there with me at times over at the house that would see these things. So it wasn't like I was crazy or experiencing it by myself. People were, whoa, dude, this is wild, man. You need to film this, you know? Yeah. And I'm just like, I don't care about it, you know? And anyway, so I don't know if the crack was that same night or the day before, but dude, it was this fear. And so as soon as I didn't see, because I was angry, I was like, man, who's the heck's on my roof? You know, I go out there and I'm about to rip someone up, you know, and had my gun and everything, and I don't know if I had it on me, but I knew I felt protected, and so I go back inside, not see anything, and you know the dogs, she's there with me inside, and she heard it too. You know, and that's why it made me, because I was like, what the heck? And I was by myself at home, and she, we hear it again, walking around. I opened the front door, and as soon as I stepped outside, I felt this fear. I didn't even want to go underneath I got into where the porch area was, but I didn't want to go outside past that porch covering. And I hear, and I'm like, there's a winged freaking creature up there. I'm not kidding. And I run back inside and lock the door, and the dog is just like kind of freaking out a little bit, not growling. Usually she always growls, and she was not really being responsive to whatever this was. She was just like kind of confused. But she was staring at the door, and I'm staring at the door. So I'm standing, like the door's in the living room, and I'm looking. And I have like this window that kind of overlooks into this porched area, and so I just can kind of hear whatever's outside walking, whatever's on the roof walking around on the roof still from being back inside. But that whoosh thing, man, really scared me, and and I just felt that fear again coming over me, and the dog's sitting right here on my right, and I'm standing there like ready for something to come busting through that front door. I'm just waiting for something to come busting through the front door. And I start hearing these hyena sounds. I'm like, what the heck is some hyenas doing outside my house, man? I was so scared, and the dog was looking at the front door, and she would look up at me like, what are you gonna do about this? And she would look back at the door like, she's like, I've never seen her like this. And I opened the blinds just a little bit because I thought the blinds were gonna save me, right? And so I opened the blinds and to look out, and I see these creatures moving. They're spotted animals, something spotted, and I can hear there was multiples of them, and I'm like, what the heck is this going on? And so I was so scared to open it to really see these creatures, so I didn't really even get to see what they were. And so I just backed up, and I was just frozen in fear at that moment. I'm like, this is it. This is when I'm going to die. I'm going to die. Something's here in the physical realm. Everything I've been searching for my whole life, I'm seeing it right now. I'm experiencing it. So like I always tell people that are doing this paranormal, like, you ask for it, you're going to get it. And don't. So I knew deep down, like, it was demonic, even though I wasn't sure. Something inside of me said this is demonic.
Yeah.
And just the way the dog just was quiet, like it knew, like it's like we had to be quiet to be sure, like if we were just quiet enough, they'll go away. We were both so scared and frozen. It was just, she wasn't growling, and usually she'll growl at least. Dude, nothing. And so I knew something very, very spiritual was happening.